Hello again everyone, I'm Daniel the Cross-Cultural Nerd here with another video for you today. Now I'm sure that you can take a guess as to what this video is about by the title and the video description, but I want to give you a little bit of background info before I get to the meat of the topic today. So, 3 years ago, I had been in China for 3 years. I'd finished 2 years of time as an international student at SIAS International University in Xinjiang, studying Mandarin. My wife had graduated from the same school with a degree in product design, and we had both been in the workforce for about a year. I'd been teaching English at Luoyang Normal University here in Luoyang, and my wife had her own job also in Luoyang, because this is where she grew up. And I decided I wanted to go home and see my family. I knew I was going to stay in China at least a year longer, and here I am 3 years later. And I wanted to take my wife, then girlfriend, with me. We were still dating, but we'd been dating for 2 years. And actually, no, hang on, a year and a half, actually. We'd been dating about a year and a half. I wanted her to meet my family and friends back home and see what my home was like. And so my parents wrote her an invitation letter, and we also compiled a bunch of stuff that the embassy website recommended we have, like proof of a job, proof your family was here in China, that sort of thing. Who's going with you? Do they have a job in China? Blah, blah, blah. And basically things proving your definitive connection to your home country. And we went together to Beijing after arranging the appointment, and my wife stood in line for a while at the embassy, and I wished her luck as she went in, and I waited for her about an hour, and she came out an hour later virtually in tears because she had been rejected by this person, this visa agent, who had asked her maybe 5 questions, didn't look at jack squat that she brought with her, not one single solitary thing, and just rejected her outright. And we had expected the possibility of rejection, but we had not expected something like that. They tell you to bring this stuff, make you pay a bunch of money, and then don't look at anything. And fortunately, that was also the day I proposed to her. I had expected to make a good day perfect, but instead I made a bad day good. Anyway, she went back again, alone this time, a couple of weeks later, and of course we were newly engaged at that time, so maybe that might have played a part in her rejection that time, but the agent there she asked her some questions, looked at her invitation letter, looked at some pictures proving that we were indeed together, and then said, well, if you couldn't convince the first guy, how are you going to convince me? And rejected her. And then at the time, the embassy site itself said that past visits should theoretically not affect subsequent visits, and so I was really annoyed by that. Anyway, we decided to wait until after we'd been married a little while before trying again. Because, marriage is a stronger connection and that sort of thing, and we figured they might look more favorably upon that. And so, we worked, saved up some money, worked, waited, got married, worked some more. At this point, we've been married for a little bit over 2 years. And 2 weeks ago, or a little over 2 weeks ago, the last week of June, we went back to Beijing, and I wished her luck in line. She went in, I waited for her a little over an hour, she comes back and I asked, did you get it? And she smiled and said, yes, she did indeed get her visa. So, woo! We are psyched, we are coming to Kentucky in August. We're going to be in the US for 3 weeks, or a little over 3 weeks during the month of August, next month. I'm excited. Wearing my Kentucky shirt because we're going home. Gonna see my home. And what's more, this is a 10-year visa. We had been expecting like a couple of months or a couple of years maybe at most, and I had forgotten about a certain time during the Obama administration when they were negotiating with China over visa provisions for Chinese coming to America and Americans going to China. And one of the provisions that got negotiated was that Chinese tourist visas coming to America would last for 10 years. So the B1, B2 visa is good for 10 years. Now, there's the B1 visa, which is solely travel. And then there's the B2 visa, which has an added emphasis on visiting family members, which my wife does now have in America because she is married to an American. So we're visiting her in-laws. And we're really excited about that. We're going to be landing in Huntsville and then we're going to get my dad's side of the family out of the way first. And we're going to spend most of the rest of the time in Kentucky, seeing my friends, my mom's side of the family. We're going to drive down to my alma mater, Lee University, not named for the Civil War general, by the way, in southeastern Tennessee, and see my college friends, get to show my wife my campus, and it'll be my first time being on campus since I graduated 6 years ago. So I'm really excited about this. But yeah, we're thinking two factors are that we, like one, we got the marriage license a few months ahead of the wedding ceremony. It's a common thing here. And two, unlike the first two interviews, she did this interview in English. And we planned to do that because her English has improved so much since we've been together. Of course, my Chinese has improved too, but she's had, more opportunity to practice. And so she did the interview entirely in English, and the person actually looked at her stuff. She said she got a really nice embassy visa agent who she said looked a lot like Kit Harington, Jon Snow from Game of Thrones. Really nice guy, and at some point I really want to have her in one of these videos to talk about her experience applying for a U.S. travel visa, because her experiences could be valuable to those of you who are curious about what it takes to go through the legal process, at least for a tourist visa. And those Chinese viewers out there who are wondering what advice she could possibly give. So I want to have her on at some point in the future. Anyway, she got a nice visa agent who believed her and actually looked at her stuff, so we're excited. Kentucky, Alabama, Tennessee, we are coming to you in August. Anyway, next bit, I want to talk about buying tickets, because we got the visa 2 weeks ago and I got our tickets 2 days ago as of the filming of this video. So, all you guys out there and girls out there who have bought tickets online know the struggle. You go online, you go onto an airline's site, or you go to one of these travel sites that help you find deals like Kayak, Cheapo Air, Priceline, Expedia, Travelocity, whatever, and you do some massive searching to find the best deal. And of course you want to find something that's inexpensive, something like if there's a layover, you don't want the layover to be too short in the event that your first flight gets delayed. You don't want the layover to be too long because you don't want to languish in an airport for a dozen hours at a time. You don't want there to be too many layovers, all that good stuff, And I found some really good deals on flights going through South Korea, through Japan, and through Canada. I was hoping to fly into Louisville because I'm from Kentucky, and flying into Louisville will be very convenient for us, but there's a little problem. South Korea, Japan, and Canada had the best deals, but as an American, I can go through there just fine because my country is an ally of those countries. But my wife is Chinese. Be okay if it was just Americans or just me, but my wife's Chinese, and Chinese and Korean relations and Chinese-Japanese relations have not been the best. They've been a little bit frosty in the last few decades. And yeah, so she needs a transit visa just to go through them. Similarly, while, I don't know how good or how bad China's relations with Canada are, but she does need a transit visa just to go through Canada as well. And it makes me really sad because kudos to you, Air Canada. You guys had some really cheap flights going into Louisville. So many other flights flying into Louisville were $1,900 or $2,000 US dollars or more. Air Canada had $1,400, $1,500 for a round trip ticket. And oh man, we didn't go for the transit visa because we've already gone through one visa application process, and we're leaving in less than a month. So, but yeah, kudos to Air Canada. One day I will take advantage of your awesome deals, but that is not this day. So we had to look for flights going through countries we could both travel through, and that inevitably wound up being China to US only. And so I'm looking on these sites, and in the past I've used Cheapo Air. Kudos to you guys. I used them to come to China for the first time. I used them to go to the US and back 3 years ago. And I did look on their site for a lot of deals, but the site that came through for me this time was Kayak. And so, shout out to Kayak. You guys came through for me. Cheapo Air, I still love you. I will still check out your deals in the future, but Kayak was the one this time. And flights to Louisville in general are a bit expensive compared to other nearby cities like Indianapolis, Cincinnati, Huntsville, Nashville. So after some discussion, we wound up planning to fly into another city for my parents to pick us up. And I was looking around. I was hoping to get someplace near, like closer to Louisville, but Nashville and Huntsville had the best deals on round trips, but I didn't want to fly into those places and then just drive all the way down just to leave again. So we decided to go with a multi-city ticket, multi-city package, and we're flying into Huntsville, and that way we can see my dad's side of the family right from the get-go, and then we'll head into Kentucky and hang out for a while, and at the end of the trip we're going to go into Cincinnati and fly out from Cincinnati. And that was the best deal I could find under the parameters I'd set up, and nice balance of price and convenience for us. And so I'm really excited about this trip coming up. My wife got leave from her job. She works at an English training school, and her job would technically pick up during the last week of August, but she's got lots of leave left because she's barely used any, so she's using up a week of that so that she'd have off in the last week of August, so we can extend our trip to 3 weeks instead of 2, because 2 is too little, I think. And so we're really excited about that. So I just wanted to tell you, my wife's got her visa, wanted to tell you about the process I went through for picking plane tickets. And so at some point, I want to get my wife on, and she can tell you guys about her experiences applying for a U.S. travel visa. Because immigration right now, it's tough enough to get here legally, or tough enough to get to the U.S. legally, I should say. So shout out to Cheapo Air for their awesome flight deals before. Shout out to Kayak for their awesome flight deal now. Shout out to Air Canada, because your prices are awesome. Even though my wife can't use them without a travel visa, we will probably try to use you next time. And also to the current Trump administration embassy and the past Obama administration visa rule, thank you so much. I'm going to give credit to both of you because we are nonpartisan here on the Cross Cultural Nerd, and yeah, we're very grateful. My wife is grateful. My family's grateful. Thanks to you both. Legal immigration needs to be easier. So, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you have any questions or comments about me, about this video, or about this channel, please leave a comment in the comments section below, and I will respond to you as soon as I can. Also, don't forget to follow me on Facebook at The Cross Cultural Nerd, or on Twitter at XCulturalNerd. I'm Daniel, the Cross Cultural Nerd, coming at you from Loyang. I'll see you next time. We're coming home in August! Bye-bye.